Hi there. Welcome to January 6th, 2025, and thank you for joining me for reading the Bible every day in 1 year in about 7 minutes a day with our Day by Day Kids Bible, written by Karen Henley. I wanted to first tell you I apologize for the late posting of the video. I had an extra early shift at work today, and in addition to that, we are under preparation for a potential power outage that may last a couple of days due to high winds, making it a high wildfire risk in our area. So I have been diligently preparing our household for the probability of a power outage. And I simply didn't have time to get the video posted or recorded any earlier than now. It is almost 6:40 my time, p.m., and so it's late for those of you in Texas. So I want to apologize for that. Sometimes real life just postpones it, but I promise I will try to be here every single day, just like you are. So uh, I have put my sticker on my calendar if you are keeping track of your daily attendance with the sticker on your calendar. And I have my Bible here. And so without any more ado, let's go ahead and begin our daily Bible reading. Today we are going to be hearing about Abraham's visitors in Genesis 18. Abraham sat at the front of his tent near the trees. It was the hot part of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men. So he got up and went to meet them. One of them was really God. Abraham bowed down. "Stay here for a while," he said. "Rest in the shade of the tree. My servants will get water so you can wash your feet. I'll get some food so you can eat, and you can go on after you rest." "All right," the men said. Abraham rushed into the tent. "Hurry, Sarah," he said. "Bake some bread." In a little while, the food was ready. Abraham brought out milk and meat and bread. He gave it to the men. Then he let them eat while he stood under a tree. "Where is Sarah?" asked the men. "She's in the tent," said Abraham. Then God said, "Sarah will have a baby boy. It will happen next year about this time." Sarah was in the tent, near the door. She was listening. She laughed to herself when she heard what God said. That's because Abraham and Sarah were very old. "Why is Sarah laughing?" asked God. "Is anything too hard for God?" Sarah was scared. She said, I didn't laugh." "Yes, you did," said God. Sodom. Abraham walked a little way with the men when they left. They could see the city of Sodom far away. They stood and looked at the city. God said, "There's very bad sin in Sodom. I'm going there to see just how bad the people are." Then the 2 men walked toward Sodom. But God stayed there with Abraham. Abraham could tell that God was going to get rid of the bad people. "You wouldn't get rid of good people, would you? Won't you save the city if 50 good people live there?" "I'll look for 50 good people," said God. "If I find 50, I'll save the city." "I've been brave about this," said Abraham. "But what if you find only 45 good people?" "I'll look for 45 people," said God. "If I find 45, I'll save the city." "But what if you find only 40 good people?" asked Abraham. "For 40 good people, I'll save the city," said God. "Don't be angry," said Abraham, "but what if you find only 30? I'll save the city for 30 good people, said God. Since I've been so brave, I'll ask again, said Abraham. What if you find only 20? If I find 20, I'll save the city, said God. Please don't get mad, said Abraham. But what if you find only 10? If I find 10, I'll save the city, said God. Then God left, and Abraham went back home. Angels in Sodom, Genesis 19. It was evening when the two men got to Sodom. They were really angels. Lot was sitting at the city gate. He saw them coming. So he stood up and bowed. Please, come to my house, he said. You may wash up and stay there tonight. In the morning, you can go on your way. The angels said, No, we will stay in the city street tonight. But Lot kept asking them to stay with him. So at last, they went to Lot's house. He baked bread and made dinner, and they ate with him. Before they went to bed, they heard voices. Bring out the men who came to see you. We want to take them with us. But the men of the city were mean men. Lot went outside. He closed the door to his house. He saw all the men of the city around his house, and they were asking for Lot's visitors. But Lot said, No, this is not right. You must not be mean to my visitors. The men said, Get out of the way, or we'll be meaner to you than we are to them. And they kept pushing Lot, and they pushed toward the door so they could break it down. But the angels were inside, and they quickly opened the door. They took hold of Lot, and they pulled him inside with them. Then the angels made the men outside lose their sight. And then they could not find the door. The angels turned to Lot. Does anyone else in your family live in this city? If they do, tell them to leave, they said. God has sent us here to get rid of this city. Lot went to the men who were going to marry his daughters. God's going to get rid of the city, so hurry and leave, he told them. But the young men thought it was just a joke. And when morning came, the angels told Lot, Hurry and leave, or you'll be in the city when God wipes it away. Take your wife and daughters with you. Now go! But Lot did not go. So the angels took him by the hand. They took his wife's hands and his daughter's hands, and the angels led them out of the city. God was being good to them. They got out of the city. Then one of the angels said, Run for your lives! Don't look behind you! Don't stop until you get to the mountains! But Lot said, No, please, you are very kind to save our lives, but I can't run all the way to the mountains. See the town of Zoar over there? It's a very small town. Let me run to that. So the angel said, All right, but hurry. I can't get rid of Sodom until you get there. The sun was up when Lot got to Zoar. Then God sent fire from heaven. Fire fell like rain on Sodom. So he got rid of the city and everyone in it. But Lot's wife looked back. She turned into a post made of salt. The next morning, Abraham got up early. He went back to where he had talked with God. He looked toward Sodom. He saw thick smoke going up from the land. Lot was too scared to stay in Zoar, so he took his 2 daughters and moved to the mountains. And they lived there. And that's the end of January 6th. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I am going to make this a very brief video because in preparation for the potential fire risk hazard, so potential power outage, I'm going to record a couple of days. I'm going to record Tuesday and Wednesday and possibly Thursday. I had to have ready for viewing, and I may upload them early if I'm unable to figure out how to schedule them for publication on the right days in order to make sure that I am able to get them posted for the days, just in case I don't have internet or power in order to be able to get those recorded and posted. I can always record, but I just won't necessarily have internet if I don't have everything hooked up with my battery backup. So, thank you very much for joining me today. And I hope you enjoyed today's exciting story about Abraham having a visit from God and uh, his braveness to ask God about saving the city if even 10 people were there. And God was so gracious. He said yes, he would. And he honored that promise. He made sure to save Lot's family, and his family went, except for his wife, turned back and became a pillar of salt. Otherwise, they got out safe and sound, and then God destroyed that sinful city. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and thank you so much for waiting for the video today. And I will try to make sure I have the other ones posted earlier in the day whenever possible. I may not be able to host the event live for the next couple of days. So, and just in case you try to join the event live, I will always try to do that, even just to hold it for live reading, even if I have them already recorded ahead of time for publication. So, I hope you have a great rest of your night, and thank you for joining me today.